Hi, this is Dr. Eric Fields. I am a licensed psychologist here in New York, and I'm specializing in gambling addiction. And today I'm talking about gambling addiction and investing. A lot of times, people in the investment field, whether that means a stock trader or something of that nature, they don't believe that they have a gambling addiction, although they feel that their behavior is really out of control and problematic. And the reason why they don't think that it can be a gambling addiction is because their behavior is not typical for somebody with a gambling addiction. Or I should say, the activity is not typical, right? So when we think of people with gambling addiction, what do we think? We think somebody who's addicted to sports betting, betting on horses, the having a problem with spending so much money at the casino, online poker, online slot machines, that kind of thing. And especially if this is your job, being an investor, you may think that this can't be a gambling addiction. And so today's talk really is to help you discern whether or not you fall into the category of a compulsive gambler. So the first question you have to ask yourself is, am I in the red? My premise has always been that a red flag to whether or not you are compulsively gambling is if you're in the red. So in other words, if you're looking across like the last several weeks or several months and you're at a loss, that could signify that you may be engaged in compulsive gambling kinds of behavior, more impulsive, reckless investing. So that's the first question that you have to ask yourself. And you may not necessarily be in the red yet, but your behavior may be very risky and out of control that will eventually lead to you being in the red. So that's something else to consider, that even if you're not at a loss right now, if you're feeling like your behavior, your investing behavior is very out of control and reckless, you may be at the beginning stages in a sense, or be at risk for developing a gambling addiction. So after that, then I have another set of questions that are going to be really important, that really delve into the function of your investing behavior. Okay? Now, when we're talking about investing, we're talking about short-term investing, right? People that do long-term investing usually don't fit the definition of gambling addiction, because gambling addiction is so compulsive and impulsive. So we're talking about short-term investing. Now listen, I'm certainly not saying if you are a short-term investor, like a day trader, that you have a gambling addiction. Absolutely not. But what I'm saying is you would be more at risk for developing that kind of disorder because of the short-term nature of this kind of activity. So, the next set of questions are really essential, okay? If you are doing this investment behavior to try to fix or resolve some kind of deep-seated insecurities, if you are trying to bolster your ego, if there's a need, a psychological need that you're trying to get from it to, as I said before, help you deal with your insecurities or personal issues, then that is going to be a sign for sure that you may be at risk or already have a compulsive gambling problem. If you're investing short term and you're doing it just to make money and you're being thoughtful about it, then and that's your main goal, then there's no issue, right? But if one of the main goals is to fix your insecurities and try to make yourself feel good, that very often can be a hallmark of a compulsive gambling issue. So that's the first question, right? If that's not the case, then the second question to ask yourself is, am I out of control with my investing because I'm trying to get a high or a rush from it, like a drug, right? So, like a lot of times, people with a gambling problem, they are more about the rush or the high than they are about actually making money, despite what they say. And so, if you're really trying to escape from some kind of negative situation in your life, or not, escaping or avoiding thinking about it, and this is like a way to self medicate, that absolutely can be a sign that you are at risk for a compulsive gambling problem. And the third question that I think is one of the most important is whether or not you figure out the function, right, as to this. Um, this is another way of just looking at the behavior itself that can really signify a problem. If you have a well thought out financial or investment strategy and you can't seem to follow it, like you've put a lot of thought into this investment strategy, you know when you want to buy, when you want to sell, you've put time and effort into researching different stocks, and it's thoughtful, your approach. It's very thoughtful. It's, of course, investing is always some sort of guess, right? But it's an educated guess, a very good educated guess even. If you are finding that you can't stick with that strategy once you start trading during the day, that's a sign that you may have a compulsive gambling problem. I hear this a lot from investors who are in this kind of compulsive gambling problem or pattern, that they have this really well thought out strategy or plan, and lo and behold, within an hour of trading, they've abandoned it completely. And now they're doing really reckless, impulsive, even irresponsible kinds of trading, that is super risky and usually involve a lot of money that is way above and beyond the kind of money they should be investing into this kind of risky situation. That's a really key question for you as well. Just like if you are a short-term trader, it certainly doesn't mean you have a gambling addiction. The same thing can be said for people that are into trading cryptocurrency or futures. Just because you're involved in a risky type of trading definitely doesn't mean you have a psychological problem, right? But if your answers to some of these questions is yes, I'm in the red for several months now. I can't seem to turn a profit lately. Yes, I feel like it's an escape a lot of times. Like I just get caught up in the thrill of it all. Yes, I feel like I need to really make a quick $1 million to make myself feel good about myself, and to be able to boast about how smart I am, how good I am, and now how wealthy I am, right? Or yes, every single time I try to invest according to my strategy, I depart from the plan. Then you have to start being honest with yourself and saying, you know what, I think I have a compulsive gambling problem. This is Dr. Fields, and I'll have more to say about this at another time. I wish everyone great mental health. I'll talk to you soon.